everyone? My name's Kai. Welcome to the channel. Consider subscribing. It helps me out big time. Alright everyone, so I hope you're having a great day. Today I've got a great video for you. I will be going over my top 5 most rare and expensive Famicom games. If you guys don't know, the Famicom is the Japanese Nintendo Entertainment System. So a lot of these games you might already be aware of, but there's definitely going to be some games on here that you've never heard of before. Either way, I posted this on my community page and you guys voted for it, so I'm making the video now. I hope you enjoy it. Let's get right on to number 1. Tricked ya again. Alright guys, so I'm gonna start the list off with an honorary mention. This video game just didn't make the cut, but it's still a really cool video game, so I wanted to show it off. This is a copy of Salamander. It is the only Famicom game that is see-through. It's the only transparent game, and it's an amazing shooting game. It's a game by Konami, so the Konami code works in it. I believe it's part of the Gradius series, but it's really cool. You're basically you're a spaceship, but instead of flying through space, you're flying through the insides of a giant alien body. So there's a lot of organic material that you have to blow through. It's a really cool game. It's very hard, but again, the Konami code works in it, so it's a great game. Either way, the Salamander looks like it's coming in at about $41.32. Okay, so on to the main list, my top 5. Okay, so number 5 is a game that is very cool. It's a game called Splatterhouse. Now, Splatterhouse has been released on a bunch of different consoles, and it's a pretty violent game. You'll notice that there wasn't that many Nintendo Entertainment games that were very violent or controversial by any means. That is not the same in Japan. In Japan, there is a ton of violent NES games that you've never heard of. This would be a perfect example of one of them. There is a genre in Japan, I forget what it's called, but basically they take, they like cutify everything. They'll take a really serious subject and they'll make it really cute. So they'll take Nightmare on Elm Street and turn them all into like little chibi people. Either way, this is a perfect example of a game like that. So if you know Splatterhouse, you know what the graphics are like. This game, however, is a much more cute version of Splatterhouse. So, there's not as much blood and guts in it. However, when you defeat enemies, they still burst into a million pieces. It's a lot of fun. I would totally recommend it. Splatterhouse is somewhat of a rare game, but if you're in Japan, it shouldn't be a hard time finding it. Splatterhouse right now, as the time of recording, is $42.91. Now remember guys, all of these games are coming from pricecharting.com. If you are a video game collector, I would 100% demand that you use price charting. Price charting is a great website where you can track your entire video game collection. It gives you the prices of what these video games are going for now, and it looks very much like a stock market thing. It'll show you how much they rise, how much they dip. So for all of the prices in this video, I am using pricecharting.com. So, for my number 4 game is actually probably one of the coolest, historically important video games that I own. It is a boxed copy of Takeshi's Challenge. Now, Takeshi's Challenge is one of the most infamous video games of all time. Regardless of what system it's for, it's regarded as one of the worst, most convoluted games ever created. It was created by a comedian who hated video games. The comedian was Takeshi Kitano, more famously known as Beat Takeshi. Taito, the video game company that made this game, approached him to have his likeness in a video game, and he wanted to be hands-on with the whole project. However, he hates video games in his real life, and he thinks that they're awful, so he made a video game that was so convoluted that nobody could possibly ever finish it. If you look up there's many videos online about this game, Takeshi's Challenge. It's a really funny thing to take a look at. So I'm really lucky. This was actually the very first Famicom game that I ever purchased. When I was in Japan for the very first time, I wanted to get this game, not even to play it. I just wanted it for my shelf. I just wanted it to be displayed. But the moment that I bought this, it started my entire Famicom collection, and now I have over 80 games for the Famicom. Either way, Takeshi's Challenge, very cool, very cool, very cool. Okay, so the next game features a very famous Nintendo monkey mascot that you guys might all be very familiar with. I'll give you a moment to think about it. King Kong! Yeah, so this game is called King Kong 2 Megaton Punch. And it is essentially a movie game of the movie King Kong 2. I think it was called King Kong Lives, or either way, it was the second King Kong movie back in the 50s where King Kong has a wife and they capture the wife and King Kong is trying... Either way, this game is made by Konami. At the time it came out, it was a 2 megabyte cartridge. Ooh, wow, 2 megabytes. Either way, it's actually a really fun game. It's a really fun game. The only reason it's this high up on the list is because the game is boxed. You can actually find this game outside of the box for between $5 and $10. It's really what the box and the packaging that makes it more expensive. But this was actually the second Famicom game that I ever purchased. And I love the box art of it, and I was really happy when I threw it into my Famicom that it's actually a really good game. Probably one of my top 5 favorite Famicom games. So I would totally recommend this. King Kong 2, complete with the manual and everything, is coming in at $56.69. Okay, so my number 2 most rare and expensive game. This game means a lot to me because it's very historically important if you are a fan of horror games. So this game is called Sweet Home. Yes, Sweet Home. This game is essentially Resident Evil 1, but on the Famicom. A little bit more complicated than that. The team that made this game, Sweet Home, went on to produce Resident Evil right after they produced this. So it's very cool. It's very cool. It's very historic. And in the game, you're in a haunted mansion. There's monsters in the mansion. You have weapons. It's pretty bloody, and it's a pretty violent game. It definitely did not come out in the North because it would have been way too violent. But it's a really cool game, and historically, knowing that the mansion that you're playing on inside of this Famicom game later on went to inspire the Spencer estate and everything like that, I think that's really cool. And being able to own a piece of history where it was basically the beginning of Resident Evil, you know, the concept of Resident Evil, all done on a Famicom game, I think that's really cool. Check out the video footage that I'm playing right now. It's a really neat game, and pretty violent for a Famicom game. Either way, that would be my second most expensive game. It is right now at $62.69. 69 cents. Yeah, so that's my number 2. You guys are gonna notice though that when I get to my number 1, the price of it jumps 3 or 4 times that. So get ready for it. Ad time, I gotta tell you about ad time, my friends. Okay, Patreon time, Patreon announcement. Guys, I'm on Patreon. If you like the channel, if you've ever wanted to help support the channel, help me do bigger and better things, consider checking out my Patreon. I have a ton of memberships on there with a lot of goodies to give back to you. I have a postcard club for when I'm away on my travels, and I would love to get you involved. Also, if you don't know, I'm a professional photographer. I love to take photos in Japan, and all of my photos are available on my Patreon shop, and they're only $5 each. So happy price. This price is very human. Guys, I'm going to finish the Patreon ad, but I just want to say thank you so much for checking me out. Also, I'm on Instagram, I'm on all the socials, so check the description of my video. I'd really appreciate it if you added me. Okay, let's get to number 1. Alright everyone, thank you so much for watching. You have reached number 1 and I really appreciate it. Now guys, let me tell you, the number 1 rare and expensive video game on my list is by far the most expensive video game item that I own out of my entire collection of over 200 different items. Easily my most expensive thing I own, and it's a museum piece. I had a very hard time finding this in Japan until I started looking in the big glass cabinets that the video game stores have at the front of their store that have all of the very rare and expensive games. So guys, let me just tell you right away, this game is called Hitler no Fukatsu Top Secret. And this is a game in which you hunt down Hitler and murder him and save your friend. This is a Nintendo game from the 80s in which you hunt and murder Hitler. And it's incredibly bloody too. It's ridiculous. I'll show the end screen. It's ridiculous. But guys, when I found out about this game, I only found out about it the second time I went on my trip. And I was really excited. I was like, you know what? That would make for a great stream. I really want to play that. It would be a funny thing to own. Let's get into it. And I went to a bunch of video game stores and I could not find the thing. Again, until I looked in the cabinets that they have that have the very expensive stuff. And I did not see this game boxed for any less than 35,000 yen, which is very expensive. So right now, this game on price charting is sitting at $316 Canadian to find it in the box with the manual and everything like that. $316. It's easily my most expensive piece. It's easily the piece that I have the most emotional attachment to, because me and my girlfriend, we've only been dating for less than a year now, and she lives in Japan and I live in Canada, and we sent each other Christmas gifts. And she said, "Is there anything in Japan that you're looking for?" Right? And the thing is, in Japan, the prices of video games can vary wildly. They can vary wildly because Japanese people are very consistent with the quality of your game, like the condition of your game. So if your game is in perfect condition, it'll be worth quite a bit. However, if there's even a little bit of a blemish on it, it'll drop the price significantly, right? So she asked me, "Is there anything that you would like from Japan for Christmas?" And I said, listen, if you can find Hitler no Fukatsu, not in the box, you know, not in the box at all, I don't need a box copy of it. If you can find it as a loose copy that has damage on it, that would be a nice Christmas gift, because I know a loose copy with damage, it would be worth considerably a lot less. However, she sent me a boxed full copy of the game. Good Lord, I love that girl. Either way, guys, that has to be my most expensive Famicom game for sure. I have no interest in buying any other Famicom game that's that expensive, so it will remain my most expensive video game for a very long time. Guys, I really appreciate you watching. I hope you enjoyed this. I love making videos. I have dedicated the entire month of February to just live streaming, but I've been having really bad nightmares lately, and I've been waking up at, 7 a.m. when I'm filming this right now, and nobody's available on live stream yet, so I thought I'd just make some videos for you guys. I hope you like it. Guys, subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Check out my Patreon. It really means a lot to me, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye!
Thank you for watching そばリビング。